Assalamu alaikum. I am Aksa, member of Mental Health Awareness Program organized by Takhliqee. I would like to start by saying that by watching this video, you cannot make diagnosis and any negative or harmful behavior or presence of symptoms mentioned in the video cannot be called a disorder until the behavior or symptoms cause major problems or interfere with daily activities of personal, social, or work life. These can only be diagnosed by a psychologist. Before I talk about anxiety disorders, I would like to explain the difference between fear and anxiety. So, now, what is fear? It is a response to a real and immediate threat. Example, when we see a snake, we experience fear and not anxiety, as snake is present threat. On the other hand, anxiety is the expectation of a future threat. Example, I am anxious about my parents' health. So here there is no immediate threat. Thus it is anxiety. Moreover, anxiety is a normal human emotion that every human experiences. Like we experience anxiety before an exam or before making an important decision, but that is temporary. In contrast, in anxiety disorders, anxiety or worry is not temporary. It can get worse with time, and the symptoms can interfere with daily activities. Now, I'll be talking about five anxiety disorders: phobias, panic disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, agoraphobia, and social phobia. Firstly, I would like to talk about phobias. Phobias are simply irrational fears. That is, they are not logical and are related to specific objects. Example, fear of spiders. Symptoms include muscle tension, shortness of breath, fear of injury, and avoidance. Panic disorder. As the name indicates, panic disorder is characterized by occurrence of panic attacks that often seem to come suddenly. Symptoms include chest pain, sweating, fear of dying and losing control, numbness, and nausea. Thirdly, GAD, that is generalized anxiety disorder. One of the main feature of GAD is that the person suffering from this disorder does not worry about a particular thing. They are excessively worried about a number of different things. Example, a person who has GAD may worry uncontrollably about their finances several times per day for months. This can happen even when there isn't a reason to worry about. Symptoms include restlessness, sleep disturbance, easily fatigued. All these symptoms must occur at least for 6 months. Next we have is agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is simply having anxiety about losing control in public places or being in places from where escape would be difficult or embarrassing if a panic attack occurs. Symptoms include fear or anxiety about using public transportation as escape is difficult from there if a panic attack occurs. Lastly, we have is social phobia. Social phobia is a fear of social situations such as speaking in public, eating in public, etc. A person fears that he or she may be judged by others or he or she can behave in embarrassing manner. Because of all these fears, people with social phobia either avoid social gatherings or experience great distress while dealing with them. Some symptoms include racing heart, blushing and sweating, muscle tension, avoidance, and escape. This was all about anxiety disorders. My next topic is OCD, that is obsessive compulsive disorders. Double checking things is a common human behavior. Like, did I lock the door? Better double check. What about the gas stove? Double check. We all do it. But what if we are forced to triple check it or check it for almost 5 to 6 times? If yes, then it can be considered as an obsession. Now, what if you have to follow strict steps with the gas stove before you leave your house each time? Like step 1, is the gas off? Step 2, double check if the burners are off. Step 3, check with lighted matchstick. Further, some people might on off gas stove for at least 8 times to be sure. So, OCD is characterized by obsessions and compulsions. In this case, the obsession is being unsure, and compulsion is doing all the steps before leaving the house. So, obsessions are unwanted and uncontrollable thoughts, images which are difficult to get out of your brain. Like, in this case, my house is unsafe, and that causes anxiety. So, to reduce this anxiety, people do compulsions, that is, repetitive actions. Like in this case, the person will follow all the steps strictly to check if the gas stove is off. Mostly in OCD, people have both obsessions and compulsions, but it is not necessary to have both. People can just have obsessions or compulsions, which can interfere with their daily life. These obsessions or compulsions are time consuming to such an extent that they interfere with their personal life, social life, etc. Example, taking 2 hours every day folding and unfolding cloth and then being late for the work. Thus, compulsions have a serious impact on one's life. Also, people with OCD have irrational beliefs which they believe are facts, like some people keep certain things at a certain position to avoid harmful things or events. Example, Adam, who has OCD, believes that if he does not keep his keys or specs at a certain angle, his parents will die. And when you ask him about this, how can that really happen? He has no answers. He says that he just believes it and keeps things at a certain angle. Some of the common obsessions and compulsions are fear of contamination, its compulsion is washing. Symmetry, compulsion is keeping things in order and repeating it. Harm, people fear to harm themselves or others. Lastly, forbidden or taboo thoughts. Like people with OCD have unwanted thoughts that are against their religion and they can't stop having them. Also, I would like to clear one misconception here. During wudu or namaz or any other religious ritual, people have continuous thoughts that they should repeat the action many times. This is not because of low iman, but it can be related to OCD. So you need to gain knowledge about this, which are also known as waswas by a scholar. Before I conclude, I would like to give you a few tips to reduce your anxiety. You can reduce anxiety by physical exercise, by maintaining a diary in which you can write your all thoughts. But if all this does not help you, you need to help yourself by seeking help from a psychologist. That was all from me. I hope this video has cleared your doubts about anxiety disorders and OCD. Thank you.